Imagine you are standing in the middle of a vast, dry desert. The sun is beating down, the ground is cracked, and as far as you can see, there is nothing but dirt and scrub brush. You might think you are alone, but beneath your boots, a massive industrial operation is happening. Millions of tiny workers are digging, hauling, and mining the earth. They aren't humans with shovels. They are ants, termites, birds, and even rats. Most people walk right past these creatures without a second thought. But if you know how to read the signs, these animals can lead you directly to a fortune in gemstones and precious metals. This isn't a fairy tale or a movie plot. This is a real geological method called biogeochemical prospecting, and professional miners have used it for centuries to find what is hidden deep underground. The true stars of this operation are the harvester ants, specifically found in the American Southwest. These ants are obsessed with keeping their homes clean and safe. They build massive underground cities that can go down 10 feet or more. As they dig their tunnels, they run into obstacles, tiny pebbles that are too heavy or too sharp to stay in the walls of their home. Because gemstones like garnets and peridots are much harder and heavier than the surrounding sand, the ants view them as clutter. They grab these stones, carry them all the way to the surface, and toss them into a pile around the entrance of the hole. In the jewelry world, these are known as ant hill garnets. They are famous for having a deep, beautiful red color because the ants have already done the sorting for you. They only bring up the stones that are the right size and weight to move, meaning every ant hill is like a tiny, natural processing plant working 24 hours a day. But it isn't just the insects we should watch. Larger animals like rats and other rodents are surprisingly good indicators for treasure hunters. Rats are what we call opportunistic prospectors. Because they are burrowers, they move a significant amount of earth to create their nesting chambers. In areas where gold or silver veins are close to the surface, rats often kick out pieces of quartz or heavy rock that look completely different from the topsoil. There is also a secret to rat behavior. They love to collect shiny things. In mining history, there are many accounts of people finding small, shiny gold nuggets or colorful crystals inside rat nests. If you see a rat burrow in a rocky area, look at the dirt pile at the entrance. If the rat has dug through a mineral vein, the evidence will be sitting right there in the sunlight, waiting for you to find it. While the ants and rats work near the surface, termites are doing the heavy lifting deep underground. In parts of Africa and Australia, the sun is so hot that termites have to dig incredibly deep to find water to keep their colonies alive. Some termite shafts have been found over 100 feet deep. As they tunnel through the different layers of the earth, they accidentally push up tiny specks of minerals that shouldn't be on the surface. We are talking about gold, copper, and even the specific blue ground called kimberlite, which is where diamonds are born. In the past, miners had to guess where to dig, but today, smart prospectors take samples of the dirt from termite mounds and test them in a lab. If the dirt in the mound has high levels of gold, it acts like a giant X marks the spot, telling the miners exactly where the gold vein is hidden deep below. It isn't just animals that dig, either. Birds are some of the most curious prospectors in nature. In Australia, the Satin Bowerbird is famous for building a bower, which is a little stage made of sticks used to attract a mate. These birds are perfectionists. They want their stage to look as bright and colorful as possible, and they have a special love for the color blue. In areas where sapphires are found near the surface, these birds will go out and search for shiny, blue pebbles to decorate their homes. There are many stories of hikers finding raw, valuable sapphires just by looking at a bird's nest. Even larger animals like badgers, groundhogs, and prairie dogs play a role. When a badger digs a hole for its family, it moves hundreds of pounds of dirt. Historically, many of the great silver and lead mines in Europe were discovered because a farmer noticed a strange, heavy rock that a badger had kicked out of its burrow. These animals are basically providing free excavation services for anyone smart enough to pay attention. Now, if you want to actually use these animals to find your own gems, you have to follow a specific plan. You can't just go to any random hole in the ground and expect to get rich. The first thing you need to do is find an active colony or burrow. Look for an ant hill or a rat hole that has fresh, loose dirt on top. If the mound looks hard or has old spider webs on it, The animals have moved on, and the wind has probably blown away any gems that were once there. You want to see movement and fresh digging. The best time to go out is during what we call the golden hour. That's early in the morning or just before sunset. This is the most important secret of a professional gem hunter. When the sun is low, the light hits the ground at an angle. Regular rocks look dull, but a gemstone acts like a piece of glass. It catches that low light and creates a tiny sparkle or flash. If you walk with the sun at your back, those flashes of red, green, or blue will jump out at you from the dirt. When you find a mound that looks promising, do not kick it or dig into it. Not only is that mean to the animals, but it actually makes your job harder. The gems are sitting right on the surface of the halo, which is the ring of dirt around the hole. Instead of digging, carry a small soft paintbrush and a little puffer bottle of air. Lightly brush the dust off the surface of the pebbles. If you see a stone that looks colorful, use the puffer to blow away the fine sand. If the stone stays bright and holds its color even when it's dry, there is a very good chance you are holding a real garnet or peridot. Another trick is to look at the size of the trash the animals are throwing out. If the mound is made of nothing but tiny sand grains, they aren't digging deep enough or aren't strong enough to move gems. But if you see a mound covered in coarse, heavy gravel, that is your target. That means the animals are working in a layer of earth that contains heavier minerals. Always keep a small magnifying glass, also called a jeweler's loupe, in your pocket. To the naked eye, a raw gemstone often looks like a dark, crusty, or frosted pebble. It doesn't look like the shiny jewelry you see in a store. But when you look through a magnifying glass and hold the stone up to the light, you will see that beautiful, glowing color inside. This is how you separate the treasure from the trash. It's also important to remember that these animals are your partners. Respect the miners. If you leave the colony healthy, they will keep digging for you, and next time it rains, a whole new batch of gemstones will be washed clean and waiting for you on the surface. Think about the scale of this for a moment. An anthill might contain thousands of tiny garnets, but for every one on the surface, there are millions more buried deep. The animals are giving us a tiny sample of what is hidden. When you find a specific animal mound that is rich in minerals, you aren't just finding a few stones, you are finding a geological location. This is how professional prospectors map out entire mountain ranges. They look for the indicators. If the rats are bringing up quartz, it might mean there is gold nearby. If the ants are bringing up garnets, it might mean there are diamonds nearby. Nature has its own language, and the animals are the ones speaking it. To be a successful prospector, you have to change the way you look at the world. You have to stop looking at the big mountains and start looking at the small piles of dirt. You have to be patient and observant. You have to understand that the earth is constantly turning over, and these animals are the ones doing the hard work. You don't need $1 million drill or a team of scientists to find something amazing. Sometimes, you just need to slow down, get low to the ground, and follow the lead of the world's smallest miners. The next time you see a pile of dirt, a rat burrow, or a bird's nest, take a second look. You might just find that nature has already mined a fortune just for you. Keep your eyes on the ground, stay patient, and remember, the best treasures are found by following a friend with 4 or 6 legs. Your journey as a prospector begins the moment you realize that the most valuable things in life are often hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with the right eyes to find them. The world is full of treasures, and nature is more than happy to share them with you, as long as you know who to follow. So, grab your brush, your magnifying glass, and your sense of adventure, and head out into the field. The miners are already at work, and your next great discovery is just one anthill away.